Okay, well, good late morning to everyone. For the record, Tyler Klein is here, Chair of the Cannabis Advisory Commission. Today is Tuesday, July 13th, 2021. The time is 11:01. We're here at the Grant Sawyer Building in Las Vegas, and this is the time and place for the inaugural meeting of the Cannabis Advisory Commission. So I'll go ahead and get us started by calling roll. I'll go in alphabetical order. Commissioner Chu.
Present.
Great. Attorney General Ford.
Here.
Commissioner Goins.
Here.
Commissioner Hammer.
Here.
Commissioner Nelson.
Here.
Commissioner Nickman.
Here.
Commissioner Ogden.
Here.
Commissioner Pearson by Zoom.
Here.
Great. And Commissioner Stewart.
Here.
Director Tagliati.
Here.
And Executive Director Young.
Here.
Great. Deputy Bala, can you confirm that we have complied with the open meeting law requirements?
We have, sir.
Great, thank you. So we can get started here with agenda item number 1. This is public comment. We did receive some written public comment. It was emailed out to all the commissioners before the meeting. It will also be posted online for the public to view as part of the record. But now we can open up public comment period here in Las Vegas to anyone in person who would like to provide public comment. Sure, please come up to this table. Ask that you keep remarks to 3 minutes or less, and please state your name for the record.
All right, hello everyone, my name is Ron Baker. It's going to be quick and simple. I just wanted to thank everyone for coming out. This is the first meeting, and I've been doing this for a little over 15 years now, so I'm definitely very committed to investing in holes. I just want to call it a situation just to keep it plain and simple, but thank the public. I'd like to thank the Compliance and Advisory Board and this groundbreaking. So thank you guys.
Thank you very much. Anyone else wishing to provide some public comment today? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on to agenda item number 2. This is introductions. There's an A and B. I'll first introduce the Cannabis Advisory Commission, and then we'll go around the room so we can introduce all of the commissioners here today. So, it's my pleasure to be here to talk a little bit about the role of the commission and its purpose here as it pertains to the cannabis industry in Nevada. This is the first meeting of the Advisory Commission, which was established alongside the Cannabis Compliance Board in 2019. The commission was envisioned to be a body outside of regulation and enforcement of the industry that, along with strong industry expertise, could perform the kind of research and analysis that would help inform regulatory decisions. The goal being to expand the state's knowledge base on cannabis-related issues and ensure the board and its oversight role of the industry has the tools it needs and the information it needs to regulate the industry effectively. With cannabis still listed as a Schedule I drug under the Controlled Substances Act and thus illegal at the federal level, most of the research and all of the best practices in cannabis regulation are left to the states that have legalized some form of cannabis to develop. In many situations, like here in Nevada, we must do the research ourselves within the state and formulate our own best practices and learn from our own experiences. And we must continue to place a priority on doing so. This is how we ensure we have a safe and successful industry run by the most knowledgeable and compliant operators and regulated by the most well-informed regulators. This commission and its work will allow the state to continue down that path and build on our regulatory framework. This commission will play a major role in our state's goal of becoming the gold standard in cannabis oversight and regulation. Now, as that is the commission's role, I'll touch briefly on the commission's work and how it will begin to facilitate that work. Once we get through commissioner introductions here, we will move on to the establishment of subcommittees. So these subcommittees that I'll establish later will be where most of the groundwork for eventual commission recommendations occur. That is the recommendations that the commission votes to send to the CCB to consider. Now, these subcommittees cover key areas of the industry and will have the ability to meet and research and develop recommendations that will eventually come before the greater commission here. The issues that these subcommittees will work on will come from a variety of different sources. First and foremost, the board will provide most of the direction for this commission. That is, identifying what issues within the industry need attention and the urgency and the timing in which feedback and recommendations are needed. CCB board meetings will remain the most important first step in bringing to light new issues or current issues within the industry, to file petitions on regulation changes or rulings, And it's through the board's deliberation on these issues that this commission can expect to receive its direction. Other issues will come up from time to time. We will talk about consumption lounges later. This is an issue that came out of the most recent legislative session that now requires the immediate attention of this commission. This commission may also deliberate on requests that come directly from the governor or specific requests that come directly from the legislature at any given time. Subcommittees will complete their work on a timeline established by the chairs of each subcommittee, and when appropriate, will present their work to this commission to deliberate on. Actions of this commission will then consist of discussing various recommendations coming out of the subcommittees, providing additional feedback and direction, and then voting as a body to send final recommendations to the board in an official capacity as the Cannabis Advisory Commission. Commission can expect to meet on a quarterly basis, but that schedule will largely depend on the work product coming out of the subcommittees. And if there is a need for the commission as a whole to deliberate on or vote on a certain set of recommendations. For example, this commission may meet before the next quarter if there is a need to facilitate new recommendations or feedback around consumption lounges. So with that, providing the broad strokes of how this commission will operate, we're going to move on to the next item, which is commissioner introductions, but of course would welcome any additional comments by any of the commissioners on 1A or 2A. All right, so we'll move on to 2B. So I'm going to go to each commissioner. We'll go in alphabetical order. Would like to hear briefly a little bit about yourself, what your role is in the cannabis industry. Those not in the industry, Director Tagliati, we would still like to hear about your role in the state and how it may intersect with cannabis, given that the legislature obviously wanted you to be here at the table with us. So with that, I will start with Commissioner Chu.
Hi, my name is Ben Chu. I have a bachelor's degree in chemistry from Caltech and a PhD in chemistry from Cornell University. I've worked in corporate America in their analytical testing laboratories for about 20 years and moved here about 6 years ago. When the industry started up, I've been running a couple of independent testing laboratories in this time. So I'm currently working at DB Labs.
Great, thank you. Attorney General Ford.
Well, good morning, everybody. Good to see you all. I'm Aaron Ford. I'm the Attorney General for Nevada. And full disclosure, I, like Mr. Tagliati, am not in the industry, but we have a role in advising the Cannabis Compliance Board, as well as obviously advising this board as well. Looking forward to participating in the subcommittees and then the committee as a whole, do what we can to offer insight and advice as appropriate. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Goins.
I'm Aisha Goins. I am industry adjacent. I have been in the industry since inception. So I was with Nevada Wellness Center, one of the first dispensaries opened in the city of Las Vegas, and had lobbied in legislation in 2017, 2019, 2021, all for decriminalization, inclusion, and equity. I am the founder of CEIC, Cannabis Equity and Inclusion Community, and currently an advocate, activist, and lobbyist for equity and inclusion in the cannabis marketplace.
Great, thanks. Commissioner Hammer.
James Hammer, been in the industry in Nevada for the last 5 years, specifically in retail mostly. Opened up Showgrow Dispensary in 2016, managed that for 5 years, and most recently opened up Wallflower Cannabis House, which was part of the CW Nevada receivership. So I took that through that process, actually was part of the group that bought it at auction. Now I'm managing that full time.
Thank you. Commissioner Nelson.
Good morning. My name is Jillian Nelson, and I am the Vice President of Evergreen Organics. We were one of the first edible production companies in Nevada and opened during the medical era. I've seen a lot with regard to the growth and development of the industry, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the Cannabis Advisory Commission can help us to do move forward.
Thank you. Commissioner Nickman.
Good morning, Michael Nickman. I'm the owner of Nevada Group Wellness. I've been in the industry since 2014. I consider myself as the owner who's very much hands-on. I don't think there's pretty much anything that I've heard or seen that I didn't go through myself or the company, as well as every other cultivator. Excited to be part of this commission so that I can share extensive knowledge that I received through mistakes, and everything else that happened in the last years. And looking forward to, like I said, share the knowledge and hopefully shape the industry a little bit in a different perspective to close the gap from reality versus what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Ogden.
Hi, good morning. My name is Kima Ogden. I have been as well in the industry since the beginning of legislation and legalization here by holding a dispensary license as well as cultivation. So we were one of the first operators open as well. Same as my commissioner colleague here, we very hands-on in the industry, but we've also been fighting for social advocacy and legalization and proper regulations. I've been on the board for Doctors for Cannabis Regulations, which is a global organization with health professionals where we testify in front of Senate, judicial committees, and other lawmakers to help with this process. And I'm just excited to keep that movement going, seeing what we can do here in Nevada, and really focus on proper legalization and legislation regulations. So thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Pearson.
Hi, good morning. I'm Jennifer Pearson. I'm an associate professor in health policy at the School of Public Health at the University of Nevada, Reno. I finished my PhD about 10 years ago at Johns Hopkins and then worked in DC for about 7 years at a tobacco control kind of policy think tank, and then moved home to Reno. I'm from Reno, go Huskies, go Reno High, in 2017 to take a faculty position at UNR and be closer to my family. So my research focuses on how regulation of tobacco and cannabis product characteristics, packaging, and advertising affects consumer behavior and ultimately public health outcomes. I'm very happy to see that Nevada has legalized cannabis. I think that is absolutely the right thing to do for public health. And I'm excited to be involved in helping regulation really have a scientific base. I published about 120 peer-reviewed articles now in major journals, American Journal of Public Health, New England Journal of Medicine, things like that. And I'm also deputy editor of Nicotine Tobacco Research, which is another scientific journal. So again, really, really happy to be here. I'm really excited to learn. And I'm really excited to provide, high quality science-based recommendations to CCB to kind of maximize benefits and minimize harms of legalization. So thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Stewart.
Good morning, everyone. Daniel Stewart. I'm an attorney with Hutchison and Steffen. In many respects, I have absolutely no idea how I got into the cannabis industry, but I had a client when I was at a small firm in 2013, 2014 that wanted to take erotic branching into cannabis. And then it sprang from there. I worked with the legislature in 2015 to set some of the new rules, and then with Governor Sandoval's office in 2017 when we did the shift to the Department of Taxation. I have lots of clients in various areas of the cannabis industry, some who fight amongst each other and some who have fought losing battles with the Department of Taxation and so forth. So it's good to be here. I think this is the feedback in the community has been really good about this kind of meeting, and I think we can do a lot of good here.
Great, thank you. Director Tagliati.
Hi, I'm George Tagliati, and he's picking on me. Director of the Nevada Department of Public Safety, which this is my second go around. The first time I was appointed by Governor Gwynn, and this time by Governor Sisolak. Retired FBI. I've been an adjunct professor at UNLV for going on now 13 years. I was a consultant for Major League Baseball and National Hockey League. And most recently, I spent a lot of time in the private sector, and most recently with MGM, involved with their corporate security compliance and things like that. I hope to be able to add a little bit to the commission, particularly bridging some gaps with law enforcement, but my interest, of course, is going to be public safety.
Great, thank you. Executive Director Young.
Good morning, Melanie Young, Executive Director for the Nevada Department of Taxation. little bit about myself. I've been in this position 2.5 years now, starting in January of 2019. And I'm a 27-year public servant. I've worked for the state of Nevada for 22.5 years. And prior to that, worked for a local government in the state of Utah. And I'm really excited to see the passage of AB 533 from the 2019 legislative session that created this committee that we're on today, and looking forward to being a part of that. So thank you.
Thank you. And for the record, again, Tyler Klimas, I'm the executive director of the Cannabis Compliance Board, and as part of that role, I chair this commission. I was appointed by Governor Sisolak in October of 2019 to establish the CCB as the regulatory body to oversee the industry here. The CCB is led by a 5-member board, and in my role, I oversee the operations of the agency, which is performed by CCB's 60 incredible team members. So very honored for me to be able to lead this body. You know, I'm very proud of the board, the 5-member board. I think it's one of the best boards in the state. And I look around the room here, and I think the expertise that we have, I think the commission is right up there with the board. So very much looking forward to what we're going to be able to accomplish and talk about and discuss, and how we move this industry forward. So any commissioner would like to add anything else to this agenda item? All right, we'll keep it moving, similar to board meetings. So we'll go to the agenda item number 3. This is subcommittee appointments. As part of my duties as the chair, I have the ability to establish subcommittees, appoint each of the subcommittee's membership, and then designate a chair of each subcommittee. There are suggested topics of interest in the statute as they pertain to subcommittees. And for the most part, outside of the Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Subcommittee, I did take the topic areas from the statute. So today, and I hereby, establish 4 subcommittees to begin working on some important topics. So each subcommittee contains commission members. 3 out of the 4 are chaired by commission members. But these subcommittees also contain members outside of the commission. So we have lawmakers from both parties. We have representatives from other state agencies, representatives from local health departments and local governments. My goal here was to ensure that we as the commission and ultimately the board incorporate a variety of voices from stakeholders across the state and within governmental agencies. It's important that we seek out the most well-rounded perspective as we move forward in our job here. So without further ado, I will go through the 4 subcommittees and each of their memberships. For the public or anyone else here in person or watching, the CCB will send out a press release following this meeting that will also detail the subcommittees and their memberships. The first subcommittee established today will be the Subcommittee on Social Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. This subcommittee's role will be to review and make recommendations on matters related to the accessibility for and participation of diverse owners in the cannabis industry. This is a very, very important topic for us at this juncture. Commissioner Goins will chair this subcommittee. Commissioner Goins will be joined by Attorney General Ford, State Senator Dallas Harris, representing Senate District 11, Commissioner Ogden, and Tina Ullman, the president of the Chamber of Cannabis. Commissioner Goins, I don't know if you would like to, not to put you on the spot, but if you'd like to add anything to that, you can.
Aisha Goins, it is my absolute pleasure to serve my community. I'm always looking forward to that. I don't have to do this work. I get to do this work, and this is no exception.
Fantastic. Well, we're really looking forward to your subcommittee and your leadership on that. So the next subcommittee will be the Subcommittee on Public Health. This subcommittee's role will be to review and make recommendations on matters related to the labeling, packaging, marketing, and advertising of cannabis and cannabis products, and the potency of cannabis and cannabis products, and any other issues related to public health. Commissioner Pearson will chair this subcommittee. Commissioner Pearson will be joined by Commissioner Chu, Lauren Dupree from the Southern Nevada Health District, Teresa Hayes from the Nevada Department of Public and Behavioral Health, and Commissioner Nelson. So with that, Commissioner Pearson also, if you'd like to add anything to that, you can.
No, thank you. Just excited to do it. Let's get going.
Great, thank you. So the next subcommittee will be the Subcommittee on Public Safety. This subcommittee's role will be to review and make recommendations on matters related to the effects of cannabis on law enforcement, businesses, and consumers. Assemblyman Steve Yeager, he's the chair of the Assembly Judiciary Committee and representing Assembly District 9, will chair this subcommittee. Chair Yeager will be joined by Director Tagliati, Detective Josh Garber of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, Assemblyman Tom Roberts representing Assembly District 13, and Nevada Department of Taxation Director Melanie Young. So I told Chair Yeager he did not have to attend this meeting, so I'm thankful for this. Yeah, I did tell him that.
You didn't tell me that.
I did tell him. You know what, it may not have been passed back to us, so I don't know. No, but I am thankful for his willingness to chair the subcommittee and certainly look forward to their work as well. Finally, the last subcommittee will be the subcommittee on the cannabis industry and market stability. This subcommittee's role will be to review and make recommendations on matters related to the overall health and stability of the industry and the marketplace here in Nevada. This subcommittee will be chaired by Commissioner Stewart. Commissioner Stewart will be joined by Commissioner Hammer, Lake Martin, the Executive Director of the Nevada Dispensary Association, Commissioner Nickman, and Sammy Real of the Clark County Department of Comprehensive Planning. So, Commissioner Stewart, if you would like to add anything to the record.
All I would say is very important that we get this right. I mean, this is, in many respects, we've led a lot of different processes, figure out the market in this. I will also say too that I think in many respects this subcommittee will be derivative of a lot of what the other subcommittees are doing, especially Chair Goins, making sure that the market is not only stable but inclusive.
Yeah. Thank you. So with that, the subcommittees will begin their work in the coming weeks. These subcommittee meetings for everyone will be open to the public, and CCB staff here will help facilitate these meetings and the agendas. And so if you follow the CCB, you will be made aware of both commission and subcommittee meetings. Additionally, each subcommittee is going to have a role to play in recommendations around consumption lounges. This topic in particular will likely be what each subcommittee addresses first, given the need for recommendations for the board to consider. And before the subcommittees then move on to kind of regular long-term business. I know I speak for the commission here. We certainly encourage robust public participation and engagement in all aspects of both the commission and subcommittees. I also want to point out that, commissioners, subcommittees are limited to 5 individuals by statute, but that doesn't mean that we can't have participation from other commissioners on subcommittees that are important to them, and certainly encourage that. So that's it for the subcommittees. Again, certainly would offer any commissioner if they'd like to add any thoughts to this item. Okay. Well, moving on to agenda item number 4, then this is future meetings. Just going back to what I mentioned earlier in the meeting, much of the groundwork here is going to be performed by the various subcommittees. And so when the subcommittees are ready to bring work to the greater commission, that is when we will meet as a whole. Given the need to develop the recommendations around consumption lounges that'll begin, I could see this body meeting in the next 60 to 90 days if there is something for the body to consider and deliberate on. Obviously, we will keep everybody apprised of the schedule, including the public. So with that, that's it for my agenda items. A quick meeting, but a very important meeting to me. This is just the start of what this body is going to do and the important role it's going to play in the industry going forward. Before moving on to public comment, again, if anyone would like to add something, they can go ahead.
I have one question.
Yes.
Is there a way we can go get the contact information of the individuals on the various subcommittees?
Yes. So each chair of the subcommittees will get the roster of the individuals that are outside of this commission. Following. All right. Well, then we will move on to agenda item number 5, public comment. Again, if we received any public comment through email during this meeting, we will post it online after. So then I will just open it up to any additional public comment here in Las Vegas in person. Please.
I'm just going to stand in this art.
Sure.
So some of you might be familiar with who I am, and some of you are new faces to me. My name is Stephanie Fisher-Till. I am a historian who's been studying the cannabis industry, especially in Nevada, but nationally as well. The developments of policy and the interaction between the industry and policymakers, basically since I graduated from UNLV with my master's in 2017, sorry. I would love to avail myself to this body and to the CCB if you are in need of any research, as I continue to do research and build educational materials for professionals in this space. I am actively working on that at this time so that industry professionals can better understand how the regulations relate to the jobs that they do, to help compliance professionals be able to kind of put the hammer down and say, hey, you know better. I would especially love to help in any way with the social equity subcommittee, if you would like. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Would anybody else like to provide testimony? Okay.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Mike McHugh, and I work with a female-owned company called Safe Harbor here in Nevada. I wanted to congratulate you all and thank you all for your work, the work that you're doing. Just a quick intro, Safe Harbor, we basically make contactless, cashless hardware systems for cannabis pre-order pickup. It's like an Amazon-style locker you can see outside of a grocery store. Our hardware stores digitally tracks and processes cannabis orders in dispensaries. I just wanted to introduce myself, and again, we look forward to potentially working with you guys in this exciting industry. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name is Gerardo Gonzalez. I work in the industry, and also I help do cannabis events outside of the industry. Like this past weekend, we did the Vegas Cannabis Awards, where I had mentioned today was the big day. And I'm just really happy that we get to have another commission besides CCB that has extensive knowledge other than you guys. We have Aisha, who's going to help with social equity, Jillian, who's part of the industry as well, and then other store owners or managers that I didn't know of. So it's really good to see Nevada continuing the process of moving forward. And hopefully we can beat the other states that get to do other things than we do right now. So our consumption lounges, our places to enjoy cannabis. And it's really good to see some new faces out here, some fresh faces out here in the back. And that's it. I just want to say thank you guys and look forward to hearing the new meetings and working with you guys this week. Thank you.
Last call. All right, great. Well, listen, thank you to those who came here and to watch this. Thank you to all the commissioners for taking time out of your day to come here. And with that, we'll adjourn the meeting today. Thank you.